Picture this. You wake up on a Monday morning and you realize you don't have to go to work. Not because you're sick, not because it's a holiday, but because you have enough money working for you that your job became completely optional. That's the dream, right? And for a growing number of people in their 30s and 40s, that dream is becoming a reality. But here's the thing most financial channels won't tell you. If you're approaching 40 and you feel like you're behind, like you missed the boat on building wealth in your 20s, you are actually sitting on a massive advantage right now. And in the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly why and exactly what to do about it. My name is irrelevant. What matters is the information I'm about to give you, because this could genuinely change the trajectory of the next decade of your life. We're talking about financial independence at 40, not retirement in the traditional sense of sitting in a rocking chair doing nothing. We're talking about having enough financial freedom that every single decision you make about your time, your energy, and your work becomes a choice rather than a necessity. Let's start with the mindset reset, because this is where most people either succeed or fail before they even open a spreadsheet. If you're in your late 30s or early 40s and you're looking at your savings account feeling a knot in your stomach, the first thing you need to understand is that guilt about the past is the most expensive emotion you can carry right now. Every dollar you spend feeling bad about the financial decisions of your 20s is a dollar of mental energy that isn't going toward building the next 20 years. Wealthy people are not necessarily smarter than you. They're not necessarily more talented, but they have learned to look forward instead of backward, and that single shift in perspective is worth more than any investment strategy one could share with you today. Now let's get into the actual mechanics of resetting your finances at 40, because this is where things get genuinely exciting. The first thing you need to do is get brutally honest about your current financial picture. I mean everything. Your income, your debts, your monthly expenses, your savings, your assets, your subscriptions you forgot you were paying for. All of it. Pull your bank statements from the last 3 months and categorize every single transaction. This exercise alone will probably reveal between $200 and $500 per month that you are spending on things that do not improve your life in any meaningful way. That might not sound like a lot, but we're going to talk about what that money can do when you redirect it properly. Once you have clarity on where your money is actually going, you need to establish what I call your freedom number. This is the amount of money you need to have invested so that the returns from those investments cover your annual living expenses. A common framework used in personal finance circles is the 4% rule, which suggests that if you can live on 4% of your investment portfolio each year, your money should theoretically last indefinitely. So if your annual expenses are $60,000, your freedom number would be $1.5 million. If your expenses are $40,000, your freedom number drops to $1 million. This is not magic math. This is straightforward arithmetic, and knowing your number gives you a target to aim at rather than a vague feeling of wanting to be rich someday. Here's where people at 40 have a significant advantage over people in their 20s. You likely have a higher income than you did a decade ago. Your earning power is probably at or near its peak. And if you're willing to aggressively direct that income toward your investments for the next several years, compound growth will do the heavy lifting from there. Time in the market matters enormously, but so does the rate at which you're adding money to the market. A person who invests aggressively for 10 years starting at 40 can absolutely build the same wealth as someone who invested casually for 20 years starting at 20. Let's talk about the practical steps because I know you came here for specifics. Step 1 is to eliminate high-interest debt immediately and completely. I'm talking about credit card debt, personal loans, anything above roughly 7% interest. The guaranteed return you get from eliminating a 20% interest credit card debt is better than almost any investment return you can expect from the stock market. If you have high-interest debt right now, your number one financial priority is destroying it. Step 2 is to maximize your tax-advantaged accounts. If you're 40 years old in the United States, you can contribute $23,500 per year to a 401k as of this year. You can contribute $7,000 to an IRA. And if you're eligible for a health savings account, You can add another $4,350 as an individual. That's potentially over $34,000 per year growing in tax-advantaged accounts. The tax savings alone on this amount are extraordinary when you calculate them over a decade. This is one of the most powerful financial tools available to regular people, and most regular people are barely using it. Step 3 is to build your investment portfolio with intentionality. You do not need to pick individual stocks. You do not need a complicated strategy. Low-cost index funds that track broad market indices have outperformed the majority of actively managed funds over nearly every significant time period on record. Keep your investment costs low, stay diversified, and continue contributing consistently regardless of what the market is doing. Market downturns, and there will be market downturns, are not disasters for long-term investors. They are discount sales on assets that will eventually be worth more. Now let's talk about something most finance videos skip over, and that's increasing your income, because cutting expenses can only take you so far. At 40, you have experience, skills, and a professional network that you likely undervalue significantly. One of the fastest ways to accelerate your path to financial independence is to find ways to monetize those assets beyond your primary job. That might look like consulting in your field on a freelance basis. It might look like starting a small side business in an area where you have expertise. It might even look like negotiating a meaningful raise or targeting a higher-paying role in your industry, because the data is very clear that job changes tend to produce larger salary increases than staying in the same position year after year. Every additional dollar you earn and invest at this stage of your wealth-building journey has an outsized impact because of how compound interest works on a portfolio that already has some size to it. There's one more piece of this puzzle that I want to be direct with you about, and it's the lifestyle component. Financial independence is not just about accumulating a number. It's about designing a life that you actually want to live both now and later. There is a version of financial independence planning that becomes so focused on the destination that it makes the journey miserable. That's not what we're after here. You want to be building a life you love while simultaneously securing your financial future. That means your budget needs room for the things that genuinely matter to you: experiences, relationships, health, growth. Cutting those things out entirely in the name of financial efficiency often leads to burnout and abandonment of the whole plan. Make the plan sustainable, make it livable, and you will stick with it long enough to see it work. The truth about financial independence at 40 is that it is genuinely achievable for more people than believe it is. The math works, the tools exist, the strategies are not complicated. What's required is clarity on where you are, commitment to where you're going, and the patience to let time and compounding do their work. Your 40s can absolutely be the decade that changes everything. The people who look back at this moment with gratitude are the ones who decided today that enough was enough, that they were done drifting, and that they were ready to build something real. That decision starts right now. What are you going to do with it? If this video helped you, hit the like button. It genuinely helps this channel reach more people who need to hear this. Subscribe if you haven't already, because we go deep on personal finance, wealth building, and financial freedom regularly.